Sheriff Harry Lee and his deputies covering everything in the suburbs, including how they got people to buses after the city's flooded.
Yeah, I was here in the city of New Orleans as the water started to rise and the city unraveled. But I also got to witness a lot of people step up under incredibly difficult circumstances.
All right, we're trying to knock down this thing right here.
That's NOPD Sergeant Danny Scanlon saving a life. Going into a home and swimming out with an elderly woman on his back. That was hours after the levees broke and the city flooded. And for this rescue and hundreds of others just like it, WDSU was there. I was on that boat with Scanlon in Gentilly. In my second year as a reporter here at WDSU, I was able to bear witness to incredible acts of heroism. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was 20 years ago. I mean, things stick with you, and I appreciate you letting me and the crew I was with come on the boat, but it's still crazy to think about that you put an elderly woman on your back and swam out of her front door in what was 10 feet of floodwater to get her to safety.
Yeah, it was just what we did, you know, our Super Bowl, police department Super Bowl, basically.
That it was. The lives saved, remarkable. But my Katrina story didn't start here. In fact, this is where it ended on August 29, 2005, a day none of us will forget. My Katrina story starts at the Superdome in the days leading up to the storm. We're thinking of the people of New Orleans. Used as a shelter of last resort, I was sent there to cover the situation. Our team of reporters, producers, and photographers spending the night on the turf near the end zone, witnesses to a failure none of us thought possible. I was down here in the Superdome 20 years ago, and I remember looking up, and you say, no way the roof's coming off. There's no way we're seeing rain and thunder, but we were, and it was right up here. I mean, is it still hard to believe that this storm was so strong that it essentially took the roof off the dome?
It's hard for me to believe. I mean, you have to think about it. The roof was wind rated for 150-mile-an-hour winds.
Then the levees broke, water rising all over, streets turning into lakes. Thousands of people trapped, hundreds of structures destroyed. I teamed up with WDSU reporter Ed Reams, who's now a news director in Norfolk, Virginia, to survey the damage in downtown New Orleans.
To the first floor because windows were being broken.
I think it made us stronger as journalists. I think I've carried that experience with me my entire career, and I think it's helped me push through. Not that I would wish this on everybody or anyone, but I think it made us better journalists and really pushed ourselves to endure a lot of things maybe we didn't think we were strong enough to endure.
After that is when we found Sergeant Scanlon, whose team launched a rescue boat off the on-ramp at I-610 at Elysian Fields. Back then, he was 40. He's now 60 years old and retired after spending more than 30 years with the NOPD. Is that one of the hardest things you had to do?
Yeah, I would say that night when we left, it really bothers, to this day it bothers me that we left people, but we couldn't do it.
Right, you had no choice. I mean, it was a safety issue, I take it. I was with y'all at nightfall. You couldn't see your hand in front of your face.
No, it was dark.
Right.
We didn't have life preservers for
Right.
people, so, I mean, and a lot of people couldn't swim.
Scanlon and his crew saving hundreds that day and in the days that followed. And while his work keeping the city safe continued, I moved on, anchoring plenty of our round-the-clock coverage on WDSU, watching and reporting heartbreak with my colleagues for so many who came back to flooded homes and devastation. And I watched live on TV as my twin brother Fletcher took our mom, Judy, back to her home, where she raised us. 5510 Chatham Drive, less than 1 mile from a levee break. 10 feet of floodwater, everything was gone. It was one of the only times in my career I found it hard to stay composed, overcome with emotions, but my mom, as she always does, gave it perspective.
Oh, well. You here and your brother's here and I'm here and we're all okay.
20 years ago, I, along with so many of my colleagues, right at the tip of the spear. And now, catching up with those who acted, changing lives, including mine, forever. Those who made an impact on my Katrina experience, including Scanlon, the cop with the axe who used it to save people's lives.
I still have the axe.
Do you really have the axe still?
Oh, yeah.
20 years later.
Yep, it's a good axe.
Yeah, she'd put it in gold, I feel like, with all the lives you saved. In the days following,